My name is Rachel Theolous, and I am the founder and director of Sin Fronteras. The name Sin Fronteras kind of has a twofold meaning for me. When I chose that name, part of it was because it means without borders. And so that to me means that everyone here is welcome. It doesn't matter where they're from, what their background is. Everybody is welcome to partake in the ministry that we're doing here. The second part of that is that beginning this ministry for me was making me kind of go outside of my borders or push my own borders, knowing that I needed to trust in God to do what I wasn't quite sure that I was going to be able to do. Basically what we do here is it's our goal to help moms with material needs for their babies as a means to share the gospel with them. And so what we do is provide diapers, strollers, baby clothes, all of those sorts of material needs that they need so that we can have that open door into their life and begin to share who Jesus is with them. So one of the things that has been really meaningful to me is that I began working in Fairmont City about 8 years ago. And when I first started working here in this community, a lot of people were kind of closed off. And it took me a while to really build those relationships and to really get them to open up. And so it's amazing to me to see some of those same women that I met 8 years ago be people that are coming here weekly and participating in things like our English group and helping other moms in the community. And so seeing the progression from not really trusting me to sharing some really personal things or opening up a lot is so interesting and so cool to see that happen. So truly when I began my first ministry to the Hispanic community, I was working with children. And so even within Fairmont City, I was working with children. At that time, my Spanish level was good for kids. That's kind of what I felt comfortable with. That my background is in education, and so that was comfortable for me. However, in 2020, when the pandemic hit and we couldn't really do any kids ministry, that's when I felt like God was showing me a different kind of open door. And so we were working alongside the CAC at that point, and we were giving out lunches during the summer in 2020. And I started meeting a bunch of moms, and we started handing out some donations to them: diapers, baby wipes, strollers, clothes, things like that. And that is how this ministry started. I knew that if I was able to make that connection so well with moms just by providing something for one of their children, I had this unique opportunity to be able to build some relationships with them. And I knew that God was calling me to continue that, even though it seemed way out of my comfort zone. And so that can be an encouragement to you all as well. Lots of times I have people tell me that they cannot volunteer here because they don't speak Spanish. And the truth is that this community is very welcoming. If they know that you love them and care about them and their kids, then the language barrier can be overcome. And there's lots of things that we need here at our resource center that you don't need to be able to speak Spanish to do. We often need donations to be sorted. We need diapers to be bagged up. We need children to be cared for. So there's lots of ways to also get involved, even if you do not speak Spanish. So one of the things that we try to do to be intentional about sharing the gospel with our ladies is that our English group isn't just about conversational skills or grammar. We use Bible stories to teach, and so we take a Bible story every week and we read the Bible story in Spanish first so they get the gist of it, and then we practice it in English. And then we practice answering questions about it, and we summarize it and talk about what's the meaning of this and where does it come from and why is it important. One of the other ways that we are currently sharing Jesus with these women is through a curriculum about how to overcome trauma. Many of our women that we work with have overcome some major forms of trauma in their life, whether that was crossing the border into our country, or whether it is abuse in their past. Many of our women have overcome or are trying to currently overcome some sort of trauma in their lives. And so we are working through this curriculum with them about how Jesus is the one that rescues us, and Jesus is the one that can redeem even the trauma that happens in our lives. One of the things that I like to share with people is that our goal is not to be a social work organization. God has blessed us with the material supplies that we have to give to our moms, but that's not our main goal. Our main goal is always to, whatever we're doing, is to use that to share Jesus with them.